Most Americans are convinced they cannot afford to retire anymore. Then they find towns like these. There's a version of retirement hiding in Tennessee that no realtor in Nashville wants to talk about. A version with no state income tax on your Social Security, your pension, or your 401k, where a lake house can cost less than a new pickup truck. First, understand why Tennessee changes the math. The state does not tax income. Not your paycheck, not your Social Security, and not $1 of your pension or retirement withdrawals. Read that again. 0. Add some of the lowest property taxes in the country, often $1,000 to $1,500 a year on a $300,000 home, and a cost of living below the national average. And suddenly, a modest retirement check stretches further here than almost anywhere in America. That is why people are quietly leaving Florida and Texas for these hills. But the big cities are getting expensive fast. The real value is hiding in the small towns, and number 11 was literally built by the government. Number 11, Norris. The first time you drive into Norris, something feels a little too perfect. And that's because this town was designed on purpose. In 1933, at the bottom of the Great Depression, the Tennessee Valley Authority built it from scratch to house the crews raising Norris Dam, making it one of America's first planned communities, wired for power before most of the rural South had a single light bulb. Today, it is quiet, heavily wooded, and carries some of the lowest crime in the state, with the Museum of Appalachia right next door. The catch is size. For a real hospital or serious shopping, you're driving about 25 minutes into Knoxville. Number 10, Dandridge. This is the second oldest town in Tennessee, and the only town in the entire country named after Martha Washington. Dandridge was her maiden name. It sits right on Douglas Lake, and here's the part that gets me. In the 1940s, the government planned to flood the whole town for a dam. The residents wrote straight to Washington, and the War Department built a special earthen levee just to save it. So this is a lakeside town that exists today because it asked the White House to spare it. Homes here sit well below the national average. The downside is simple. It is small, so you trade convenience for charm and water on 3 sides. Number 9, Greenville. Tucked into the mountains of East Tennessee, this is the hometown of President Andrew Jackson, with his house preserved as a National Historic Site right downtown. You get a walkable brick Main Street, 4 real seasons, and Blue Ridge scenery for a fraction of what that same view costs across the line in North Carolina. Yes, the nearest big hospital is a drive away in Johnson City. But hold that thought, because a couple of towns from now, healthcare stops being a problem entirely. Number 8, McMinnville. They call it the nursery capital of the world because the farms out here grow a staggering share of the trees and shrubs planted across America. But the real showstopper is underground. Just outside town sits Cumberland Caverns, where they hold actual concerts hundreds of feet below the surface, inside a cave. Above ground, you get classic Middle Tennessee prices, a small historic square, and rolling farm country. And homes stay cheap because almost nobody outside the state has heard of it. The honest downside is distance. This is rural, so a major hospital or a real airport means a genuine drive. Number 7, Jonesboro. Founded in 1779, this is the oldest town in Tennessee, and it looks it, with a preserved main street that feels like walking straight into another century. Every October, it hosts the National Storytelling Festival, and for one weekend, this tiny place triples in size. If you want character, walkability, and neighbors who actually know your name, few towns in America compete. It is slow on purpose and easy on the wallet. The catch again is size. For hospitals and big shopping, you lean on neighboring Johnson City, which, as promised, is next. Number 6, Columbia. About 45 minutes south of Nashville sits a town that hands you small town prices with big city access. Columbia is the home of President James K. Polk and proudly calls itself the Mule Capital of the World, complete with a Mule Day festival that has run for over a century. The old downtown square has been beautifully brought back to life with shops and restaurants, and Nashville's hospitals and airport are inside an hour. The downside is the price of that convenience. Nashville's boom is spilling south, so Columbia is the fastest appreciating town on this entire list. If it is on your radar, Do not wait. Number 5. Paris. Yes, Paris, Tennessee. And yes, it has its own Eiffel Tower, a 60-foot replica standing right in the middle of a town of about 10,000 people. It throws the world's biggest fish fry every spring and sits on the edge of Kentucky Lake, one of the largest man-made lakes in the country. But here's the number that stops people cold. The typical home in Paris sells for around $135,000. That is less than a lot of Americans spend on a new truck. On a fixed income, a paid-off house at that price is not a small thing. It is the whole ballgame. The trade-off is rural healthcare, so plan for a longer drive when it counts. If your retirement math is suddenly looking a whole lot friendlier, do me one favor and tap that like button. It genuinely helps. And the top 4 coming up are the strongest on the list. Number 4. Johnson City. Remember that healthcare problem from the smaller towns? This is where it disappears. If you've ever priced retirement in Asheville, North Carolina and felt your stomach drop, Johnson City is the answer. The same Blue Ridge Mountains for dramatically less money, plus a medical school and a veterans hospital right in town. You get trails, a lively downtown, 4 seasons, and 0 coastal storm risk. The catch is that the secret is partly out. It has grown, so it's not as cheap as 5 years ago, but it's still a bargain next to the mountain towns just across the state line. Number 3. Cookeville. This might be the best all-around value in the whole state. Sitting right between Nashville and Knoxville, it has a median sale price around $315,000, still under the state average, and it comes with something a lot of small towns simply do not: a full regional hospital right in town. Tennessee Tech keeps the energy up, and waterfalls like Cummins Falls are minutes away. Amenities, healthcare, and affordability in one package is rare, and that is exactly why word is spreading and prices keep ticking up. Number 2. Tellico Village. Picture almost 5,000 acres wrapped around a lake in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, with 3 golf courses, dozens of miles of trails, and a marina. This is a community built specifically for active retirees, with homes starting in the low 300,000s. The genius is the location. You get real lake and mountain living, but Knoxville's major hospitals are only about 30 minutes away. The people who move here tend to say the same thing, that for the first time in years, their money stopped shrinking. The trade-off is that this is a homeowners association with rules and dues, so it feels less like an old small town and more like a designed paradise. For a lot of retirees, that is the entire appeal. And number 1, Crossville, and its crown jewel, Fairfield Glade. Up on the Cumberland Plateau, Crossville earned the nickname the golf capital of Tennessee, and Fairfield Glade is the reason. This is an active adult community of about 8,000 people wrapped around 11 lakes and 5 golf courses, with an overall cost of living roughly 11% below the national average. Low dues, very low property taxes, and no state income tax touching a dollar of your retirement. Here's the honest picture, because you deserve it. Crossville proper still has homes around and under $300,000, and that is your affordable way in. But Fairfield Glade itself has been discovered. The median home there just jumped nearly 17% in a single year, to around $440,000. So the lifestyle stays cheap. The golf and the lakes and the mild summers are all real, but the buy-in is climbing fast, which is exactly why the retirees already there keep telling their friends the same 3 words: buy now, seriously. So there it is, 11 Tennessee towns where a retirement check does not just survive, it actually stretches. Before you fall in love with a listing, 3 honest warnings. The no income tax advantage is real and it is permanent, but the state is growing fast. So today's prices are the cheapest you will ever see them, especially in the popular towns. In the smaller ones, find out exactly how far the nearest full-service hospital really is, because that number matters more with every passing year. And unlike Florida, the danger here is not hurricanes, it is spring tornadoes. So build insurance into your budget. My honest advice? Rent for 1 season before you buy anything and let the town earn you. If this helped you picture where your retirement could actually happen, hit subscribe. We break down the best affordable towns in America every single week, and I will see you in the next one.